So we continue from where we actually, stopped. So we're talking about the integrity checks. How do you do integrity checks? Now, the diagram is here to show the checksum process pass. Now, from this diagram, you see you have the type of data tested: files, emails, pictures. Data is converted to binary and summed, okay? Then you have, it moves to the checksum, okay? From this test type of tested, it moves to data is converted to binary. It now moves to checksum calculated before storage or transmission. Then it moves to the transmission itself. All right. And the process of moving to data transmitted or stored, there's a checksum taking place here. You can see the checksum compared. There's an integrity checksum that is taking place here, which compares. So as soon as it drops to the checksum calculated after storage or transmission, it still moves back to this place. So before it's being stored, there's the checksum transmission. Then after it finished, there is now a match, which equals to integrity pass. So for example, you go to use an ATM, you put in your ATM, you put in your code. If your code has not gone through this process, the ATM will reject your card. So this is the process of integrity, okay? So an integrity checks is a way to measure the consistency of a collection of data, such as a file, a picture, or a record. So the integrity check performs a process called a hash function to take a snapshot of data at an instant in time. So the integrity checks uses the snapshot to ensure data remains unchanged. So a checksum is one example of a hash function. A checksum verifies the integrity of files or strings of characters before and after the transfer from one device to another across a local network or on the internet. So checksum simply converts each piece of information to a value and sum the total. So to test the data integrity, a receiving system just repeats the same process. So if the two sums are equal, the data is valid. Okay, which you can see in this diagram. So if they are not equal, a change occurred somewhere along the line. Okay, a change occurs. You can see where this one now is a different. You can see this one is saying no match, integrity failed. So at this process, once it checks like this and it doesn't work, you see checksum compare. That's what happens to people's ATM. So if it doesn't go through this checksum process, it will reverse and tell you fail. Okay, so that is how it works. So a common hash functions include an MD5, an SHA1, an SHA256, and an SHA512. So these hash functions use complex mathematical algorithm. This hash value is simply there for comparison. So for example, after downloading a file, the user can verify the integrity of the file by comparing the hash values from the source with the one generated by an hash calculator. Okay, so organizations use version control to prevent accidental changes but by authorized users. So two users cannot update same object. Objects can be files, database records, or transactions. For example, the first user to open a document has the permission to change the document. The second person has a read-only version. Okay, so accurate backup help to maintain data integrity. If data becomes corrupted, an organization needs to verify its backup process to ensure that the integrity of the backup before data loss. Because when the data goes off or the data is lost, you will not be able to use that data. Authorization determines who has access to an organization resources based on their need to know. For example, file permissions, like the one you were doing in the practical. Okay? And user access control, ensure that only certain users can modify data. So when you approve someone from your own server, okay, that person will have access. But if you don't approve from, that's why you're the cybersecurity official. If you don't approve the person from your server, the person cannot have access to it. So authorization determines who has access to an organization resources based on their need to know. So, for example, file permission and user access controls ensure that only certain users can modify data. So an administrator can set permission for a file to read it only. That means you can read only the file, you cannot edit. Okay, so as a result, the user accessing that file cannot make changes. So what we're going to do, like I mentioned, our class is going to be 1 hour and we will have it consistently. I don't have to wait for everybody to come in. Once I get into this place by 4 p.m., I start the class. And the recording is available for those who have to watch. And I've told you, please, if you have joined the group, please start working on the labs. Don't wait for me. Start working on your lab. As soon as we get to a particular lab, don't leave your labs, because at the end of the day, if you don't finish the class will be shut down and whatever money you paid is wasted already. So please, this is important. I need to let you know. We are back to this class and want to close this class and move to other courses. All right. So by Monday morning, I say Monday morning, by Monday, we'll be having the principle of availability. So please, if you have any question, you can come to the WhatsApp and chat me up on the WhatsApp. You have the WhatsApp number, you're in the group, chat with your instructors in the group. You have a leader in the group, so chat with them and you can reach me directly as well. Thank you for attending to this class. God bless.
Thank you.